Hello, welcome to Dinner and a Show. We are back. I'm Brian.
I'm Tanner.
And
today we're going to talk about a movie that I hold very dear to my heart. Like if someone asked me to name the 5, Desert Island movies, what movies could you not do without? One of them would have to be Stand By Me. It is so close to my heart. It's been my favorite film. It's been one of my favorite films ever since I was 9 years old. I loved it as a kid. It's gotten even better over time. As an adult, I just look at it this timeless classic. I love it that much. You've seen it for the first time tonight.
This was my very first time, and I'm very glad I finally got to watch it because I've heard so much about it. For this review, we both got different dinners. I got Taco Bueno.
And I got Sonic.
We're not sponsors. We just like the food.
Yeah.
Oh, and I got some Reese's. Usually the very first thing I look at when watching a movie is, do I like the characters? And yes, I did. Vern was getting on my nerves a little bit. There's this one scene where he's just running from the train and he just doesn't want to get up. I was like, you idiot, move!
He's not very bright.
Yeah.
I knew kids like that. The kids who are always saying the wrong things, always doing the right things, are very slow to catch on to certain things.
Yeah. But, over time throughout the movie, I started to like him a little better. It's like, okay. Sure, he's still stupid, but, he wasn't the sort of stupid that was annoying, I guess, later on.
Yeah.
So it was good. I liked him.
Stand By Me is based on the novella of The Body from Stephen King's Different Seasons series. It's about 4 boys who set up on a 2-day trek through the wilderness to find a dead body. And instead they find themselves, and to quote Family Guy, and also a dead body.
And the director was saying that this was sort of a revolutionary film at the time, as a growing up film. Because usually a growing up film usually deals with the guys getting the girls, getting laid.
Yeah, that came out a lot during the 80s.
Yeah.
It was like a huge epidemic of teenage sex movies.
Yeah. Whereas this one, it's just about 4 junior high kids that are...
And it's a real coming of age movie. It's a film about growing up.
Yeah, they're actually growing up, Having sex doesn't mean you've grown up. It just means you had sex. You can still be an idiot.
It doesn't make you a man.
Yeah, it doesn't make you a man to do that. But they actually, just find themselves. They mature. They become... they overcome obstacles within themselves. Whether it's self-worth, doubt.
Yeah, they have their own personal traumas. Like one kid's father, he abused him and he went to a mental institution. There's this other kid that comes from a bad family and they see him as bad, a sort of guilt by association. And
Yeah.
And the main kid, Gordy, he's going through a lot of a trouble in his life because his family are seeing him as the wrong kid that died because his older brother died and he was the favorite. He was the favorite son.
Oh, yeah.
And he knows that. He can't quite come to terms with it.
Yeah.
And that nightmare, good God, that nightmare. So he's asleep and he's dreaming. He's dreaming he's at his brother's funeral. His father lays his hand on him and says, "It should have been you, Gordon." It's dude!
That's pretty scarring.
Yeah.
I was like, holy cow.
You don't feel that that's what his father said, but you do feel that is what Gordy feels every day, whenever his dad talks to him. In fact, you even see, the father asked him at one point, "Why can't you have friends like Denny's?"
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. I was actually surprised at how many people I recognized from Stand By Me.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland for one, from 24.
Yeah.
That's how I was first introduced to him. John Cusack.
Yes.
He was in there. He was the older brother.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Will Wheaton. See, now I recognized him from his internet fame. Later
Right,
on,
you never saw Star Trek.
I never saw the Next Generation Star Trek. I knew he was in it, but I just never knew that, or I never saw him in it. So that wasn't my first exposure to him. This was my first exposure to him as a kid, and yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah, all the kids are fantastic. They found the most talented child actors.
The 80s had amazing child actors.
Yeah.
At the time, I was just shocked. Wow, this is a huge quesadilla.
That's a quesadilla.
It's a quesadilla. Huge wrapping. Look at it. For
Oh, I was expecting it to
Half. Yeah, I was like expecting the whole thing. Okay, it's half.
expecting it to be bigger.
Yeah, not too bad. The body, I mean, sure, it's found at the end, but it's kind of minor compared to what they actually are trying to find. That's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a goal that's completed, and I think they use that to satisfy the audience. He's like, hey, we're building up this dead body.
Right. And, like the kids don't know it, but they're looking for something else. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah, and
Something within themselves.
it was a very emotional scene with Chris and Gordy.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one of the night trips or one of the nights that they were camping out while searching for the body.
Yeah, and Chris is talking about how he stole so much money, and he was sorry. He tried to give it back to a teacher. He turned it in, but he still got suspended because it never showed up, and the teacher actually kept the money. He felt totally betrayed. If he told the story, no one would have believed him because he comes from a bad family, and everyone would never trust him.
That was a pretty gut-wrenching scene, I would say. Now, I would say the only complaint I would have from the movie, and I know it was the bullies, yeah,
It's the bullies.
because they didn't really. Sure, they built tension with our main heroes, but they could have been taken out. I think it could have been nice if it was just natural obstacles that got in their way, which did happen. They did use them.
Yeah.
They had leeches. They had the freaking train. They had,
They had the dog,
yeah, the dog.
the junkyard guy.
Yeah, they had those. They didn't need bullies. I mean, what the heck were... Stephen King makes pretty one-dimensional bullies. I would say they're just
that's
there
true.
to be
They only-
jerks.
You don't see murder as the only option.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Ace would have killed Chris when he held the knife to his eye. I think he was just gonna nick him a little bit though.
Yeah, one would hope, that one wouldn't go so far as to killing somebody.
Yeah.
But
But either way, it had to be stopped. And that's why Gordy held the gun at him, scared him away.
yeah, the climax was really good though. So I mean, if the bullies did anything good, they had a wonderful climax.
All right. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the original story that this is based on, written by Stephen King, it was actually Chris who held the gun at Ace. He was defending Gordy. But in this one, it was actually Gordy defending Chris, pulling the gun on Ace.
And I thought that was a
Do
wonderful.
you feel this worked better?
I thought it worked better because Gordy, I mean, he was the narrator
Yeah.
in the movie. I don't think that's a spoiler at all. But yeah, he didn't really have a lot of. He was told, stuff. I mean, he had the deal about his, brother dying, but there was no I don't think there was a lot of resolution to that, and I think him being the one to hold the gun to the bullies was a way to resolve that conflict in a way.
Yeah, it builds up his self-confidence. He builds up his self-worth. He's standing up, he's standing up for his friends. He's standing up to his tormentor. And good God, they're loud.
We got some neighbors, but it was just a really good addition, and I think you told me that Stephen King actually praised the filmmakers for that change.
Yeah, he said that he never would have thought of that when he was writing. He thought it was a great idea.
Yeah. So, this is an example for me where a film or a book being translated to film works wonderfully, and they make necessary changes to better the story for that medium. Lord of the Rings is a wonderful adaptation of J.R.R. Tolkien's books. I mean, 3 hours, sure, but they were able to have wonderful characters, have a great story, get the main point across, and, still get behind them and everything like that. So, in this case, for Stand By Me, I'm just like, wow.
It's also a great way of using things from the story, just as sort of a visual. In the original story, they tell you the story of Lardass. In this film, they actually show it, which I think is really good because this just comes out of freaking nowhere. And at first sight, you would think, okay, that was a hilarious diversion, but when you really think about it, this is really establishing Gordy's talent as a storyteller, and also you notice sort of based on something that he would like to do, which is get revenge on those who torment him.
Yeah, it was just kind of a little subtle nod to
a story
that.
about a kid who's been picked on his whole life. He finally gets revenge. That's what Gordy would like to do.
Oh yeah, and he finally does it, which is great. I was interested that Chris, who's known as the kid from the bad family, was sort of a father figure to Gordy.
Yeah, he's very sensitive.
Like I wasn't
he's very
expecting that
nurturing.
at all.
Yeah, he's a really good kid.
Yeah, he's like a good kid at heart, but everyone thinks he's just bad because his parents are bad. Now Teddy was the weird one. Like it took me a while for me to understand why he would stand in the middle of the train tracks wanting the train to hit him. That just didn't make sense to me. I was like,
He's
dude,
channeling his father.
Yeah, apparently. I was like, you were an idiot, Teddy. But it was crazy. Oh, and yeah, they did a lot of things that probably wouldn't get away with now, even if it's an R-rated movie. I mean, the kids, they swear a lot. They smoke cigarettes,
which is really odd because like Rob Reiner is so anti-smoking. Right. They have a gun.
Yeah, they have a gun.
A freaking gun. It was like
kids with guns. That's bad.
30 years ago, I can't believe that. It's like, okay, it was a modest hit. It was up against like Aliens and The Fly, and like it had to get good word of mouth, or otherwise it was just gonna disappear.
Oh yeah.
But I think it was like one of the top 20 grossing films of that year, and it was nominated for 2 Golden Globes, Best Film, Drama, and Best Director. It was nominated for the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Oh, good.
And now it's known as a classic.
The editing was really good. I kind of like I think one of my favorite scenes, like editing wise, was when the train was coming up and they were on the bridge.
Yeah.
And they were at the way they had the shots, they cut the shots, with the kids reacting. It's like, hurry up. And then Will and Vern, Gordy and Vern running towards the camera. And every time it'd cut back to them, it'd get closer and closer and closer.
It's very well shot too. There was like a special lens that like the train was like really, really far away, but there's like a special lens. Like, I can't exactly remember how they did it, but they made it look closer.
Yeah, I mean it was very well done. I absolutely loved it.
It's the same way they filmed the scene with Teddy in the train, because like you see like Teddy here, you see the train there. It looks like it's really close. It's actually like really far away. I'm gonna tell you how Rob Reiner like got the kids to act that way, like when they were running from the train.
Oh yeah.
They couldn't give Rob Reiner the reactions that he wanted, and all the crew members were tired because like they were pulling this dolly. They were running really fast and they were really
with
tired.
The train, yeah.
Yeah. And so Rob Reiner, he snapped because like these kids weren't giving him what he wanted. It was like how many takes? I don't know, but it was a lot. And so Rob Reiner just snapped. He said, "These people are tired. Okay, if you're not going to be scared because that train's coming after you, you better be scared because if you don't get this right, I'm going to come after you." And the kids just started crying. And Rob Reiner's like, "Quick, roll the camera, run, boys!" That's how he got it. That's how he got it.
There you go. Scare your kids to death for the best performance.
Most of their reactions are real. Like even when they see the body, they didn't see the body until like the day they were shooting. When they got to the close-ups, they saw the body. Those are their real reactions.
Yeah, I would say very well shot movie.
Oh, talk about the narration. You kept mentioning the.
Oh, the narration. See, I usually am against narration now. I think CinemaSins has kind of made me anti-narration, at least unnecessary narration.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, it worked. I mean, for one, this dude's a writer. It wasn't explaining everything that they did. It was more of how they felt while doing what, the scene was. So it added a new dimension to the scene.
Instead of telling us like what we already know, it's telling us what we should know.
Yeah. So instead of saying, well, me and my friends walked down the train track bridge, and all of a sudden the train showed up.
We can see that.
Yeah, it's like, duh, we know that. Thanks, we're not idiots. No, it was going through the minds of the kids. That was my take on the film. I'm going to give it a pretty good rating. I would say that after a second viewing, I would probably give it a secret handshake. Just so I can just have a further analysis of it, because I liked it a lot. But it's definitely worth a secret handshake for me.
I've already made it really clear like how much I love this movie, so I'm going to give it my highest rating possible. It was the first R-rated movie I ever saw when I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
And I loved it as a kid because like there were kids my age and like they were going on this little adventure. They were overcoming obstacles like with the junkyard dog, with the train, and with the leashes and the bullies and stuff like that. And I just sort of saw it as that. I didn't see much else to it. But as I got older, I was seeing more and more like many things that were put into it.
Yeah.
Like all these different levels of like what these kids were going through, what they had been through, what their futures could be like, and the more times I saw it, the more I learned from it. I'm not sure if there's anything else I can learn from it now, but I don't care. I still love it. I love it to this day. I'll never stop loving it. It's one of my top 5 favorites for sure. I think it's my second favorite. I'm not even kidding. I think it's my second favorite movie of all time.
Sweet. What's your favorite movie?
It's actually a movie that like not many people have heard of. It's called War Eagle Arkansas, and that's also a coming of age movie.
One of the best coming of age movies I've seen.
Absolutely.
And I definitely recommend you watching it. That's all we got.
And read the book too. It's Different Seasons by Stephen King. It's a 4-story anthology series. The story's called The Body. And while you're at it, check out Rita Hayworth and The Shawshank Redemption, which was adapted as, of course, The Shawshank Redemption.
Yep.
Also a great movie.
Morgan Freeman. But that's
Andy Dufresne.
And to Dufresne. Yeah, that's all we got for today. Just be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. And Brian?
Tanner.
And we'll see you next time.